Everybody, how's it going? We'll get started in just a moment. Enjoy the music first. For a bit. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Dan Shinder here on Drum Talk TV with my guest, Jiffy Griffiths, all the way from Wales. I'm in Globe, Arizona, 100 miles east of Phoenix up in the mountains. Tell us where you're watching from. Let us know if you have questions. I'm real excited to have Jiffy on because I'm a genuine fan of the Kiny Wizzards, and that's the name of his backup band, with his brother Matthew on bass and Ryan on guitar. And we're going to talk about influences. We're going to talk about their music. I'm going to show some more clips. We're going to talk about their upcoming album, which is called the Effervescent Travelers. Jiff, how are you, man?
I'm chilling, Dan. How are you, mate? Nice to finally get online with you, mate.
Yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool. I appreciate you taking the time on a Friday evening. You guys just got done rehearsing, right?
Yeah, we just had a little pop. Yeah, it's good fun. It's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
That's
great.
Really
good. Really be here, man. Really cool.
You know, I know that everybody hears music a little bit differently, and I've kind of like described your music to friends, and in the description here of the post, kind of like an instrumental version of an instrumental trio of Rush meets maybe Jeff Beck, and I've thrown some other stuff. Like, how would you describe yourself to someone who's never heard the Kiny Wizzards before?
First off, I think it's probably having to explain the band name because it was something myself and my brother made long time ago. So people are like, what you call them? Like, oh yeah, Kiny Wizzards?
With
like,
two Z's, by the way.
So,
with two Z's.
Yeah, that's right. Because everyone was like, oh yeah, you can't spell Wizzards. I was like, well, the idea was, there's two of us in the band, so we thought it'd be cool. We were like maybe 12 or 13 years old, and then now I'm like, yeah, we should have thought of them more. But I think it's tongue in cheek, and because we're instrumental based, we kind of get away with it because we're not, we're just a lot of fun. And I suppose the way that the kind of band started was kind of certainly the style and what we kind of play is, as you say, very much like I grew up with Rush, of course. I mean, who doesn't? Mr. Peart is an absolute idol of mine, as well as pretty much everybody's playing. I absolutely love everybody's playing. But mainly because they were a three-piece, and as a trio, what they gave, and just, I sort of, yeah, absolutely, what they gave. And when I was very fortunate to watch them live when they come to the UK, gosh, it must be back in 2012 or 13 or 14. It was such an amazing show, and it really encouraged us to kind of, eventually get a third wheel. But the bass and drum stuff was kind of just the two of us, which was amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, I'm going to show something in a moment, actually, that demonstrates that. Yeah, that's cool. So that must have been the Clockwork Angels tour, I'm thinking, right?
That would be it. When they come to NEC in Birmingham, when it blew my hat off, my hat was gone. To watch. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say the first time I saw Rush, I was 15. This is way back when the Earth was cooling and dinosaurs still roamed the Earth. This is back in 1978, and at the Long Beach Arena on the Hemispheres tour, and then I saw them the next night in an old airplane hangar called the San Bernardino Swing, both in Southern California. the San Bernardino Swing was famous for boxing matches, and I saw them there the next night. To give you an idea of the perspective of how things have changed, my ticket for those shows was $6.50 US.
Whoa.
I think last time I saw them, the tickets were like $200, and those were not even scalped, and they weren't the front row either. Yeah. Amazing stuff. I want to show everybody some examples of your playing. So I'm going to show one of my favorite videos that really exemplify the precision of your playing and showing authority as a band leader. Check this out, folks.
I'm a nightmare, mate. I'm like a cat. You're not like where you're going. Like, what's going on? That makes sense? Yo, what is this doing? Just watch me then. I'm watching you all the time.
Oops. But seriously, folks, I want to show, before they added Ryan and made it Minaj, I want to show a song that is so cool. It's just bass and drums. You could totally hear Geddy's influence on Matthew as well. I'm sure it has other influences. We'll get into that. But this is called Bible Tissue. Check this out. This is brilliant. All right, folks, that's all you get. Just a teaser. Let's get back to Jiffy. So how different was it, Jiff, when you guys added Ryan on guitar, which we'll play one of the new singles from the new album in a moment, but how different was it for you and Matthew to adapt to that? Had you not played with other musicians in a while and it was just the two of you, or was it something you guys did all the time? It was just a matter of selecting someone that was a good fit.
Yeah, where we live in Wales, we're kind of up a valley, which means it's just full of countryside. And even though Cardiff, obviously being the main capital of Wales, is quite a big city, when you compare it to like London and other places, people are like, where do you live? And I'm like, Wales. They're like, I don't know, mate. So it's kind of like there wasn't many people around that me and my brother knew of, that in terms of guitarists, getting in a band, having a singer. So we kind of started as obviously as a two-piece, but we were in the orchestra kind of thing back when I was about 9 or 10, and my brother was on clarinet at the time. Would you believe it?
Oh, wow.
And we used to turn up every Saturday morning, and then I was introduced to more sort of military kind of snare work, like rudimental, just snare. It was all kind of percussion, basically, yeah. And then obviously my brother adapted onto the bass because they needed a bass player in this particular jazz band that we were at on a Saturday morning. And then we kind of played together, kind of just copying things like Rush. We would do like, I don't know how to pronounce it, what's that amazing Rush song?
La Villa Strangiato? La Villa Strangiato? Yeah.
Perfect. So we would just kind of play those parts as just the rhythm section. And then I think my brother kind of found a knack for a lot of the finger tapping stuff and kind of made it more interesting. And he obviously massively into Victor Rubin and all these amazing bass players that, you know, certainly inspired him. And then I would kind of play just the kit myself and think up of rhythms. I'd be like, oh, this will be cool. Why don't I, my brother would come in and be like, oh, that's cool. Let's play to that. And then the slack element come in, which really took us off on, because like Claire's, is it Claypool? Les Claypool?
Les Claypool, yeah, from Primus.
I apologize if I mispronounced his name. So we kind of really got involved in that kind of thing. And our first ever video as a drum and bass was simply, kind of imitating that kind of thing. So we were kind of playing more along the lines of trying to be this Primus wannabe band.
Yeah, I totally hear that too in your music.
What we didn't know was Ryan lived like 150 yards down the road, or 150 meters, I should say. Yeah. So this is the funniest thing is we put up posters and put up flyers in the music shop in Cardiff, drummer and bassist looking for, join a band and in takers, and people were like, oh, you're too much. I was like, what do you mean we're too much? You're too busy. We're like, oh, God, all right, okay. I said to my brother, I don't think we're going to be pop, man. We just ain't pop. So then Ryan bumped into us, which was probably about 2012. So it was quite a while, because he went off and did his own, because he's a multi-instrumentalist. He kind of writes his own albums, and under his own kind of name, and which was amazing. So we kind of got in a room together back in 2010, maybe, and started in a cover band. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
wow.
And that's, yeah. And then he came over the practice room, and then he was like, oh, I live like there. And we were like, brilliant.
That is so funny.
So we started jamming, yeah.
That is so cool.
And I think,
what a great fit, too.
Yeah, and his approach to kind of, because again, Massive Rush, Eric Johnson, which for me, I was like, who? I'm not in the guitar world. I was only ever just this stuff, all this metal. My brother was like, oh, I kind of mimic what Jiff was kind of doing, and how we kind of created these, I know like rhythm sections, the fundamental part of the band, which everyone else kind of falls off.
Right.
But we didn't want to do that conventional way of just fall to the floor and hitting down like melody.
Yeah.
And Bible Tissue being one of the songs where it's, even though that as a two-piece, you're trying to invent ways of being different, and you think, how far can you take bass and drums where it is just bass and drums without SPDSX sample pads, without triggers, without the technology that advanced, because certainly back in 2002, when me and my brother were playing, we didn't have technology. We just had basic gear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Let's play the first single off of the new album by the Kiny Wizzards, Effervescent Travelers. We'll talk about that title in a moment.
Okay.
But this is just a drum cam video. So you won't see Ryan, you won't see Matthew, but you'll hear them. And I love this song. It's called High Rise. Check this out, folks. All right, I won't play the whole piece because we want them to buy the album, of course. But it's brilliant. I just love it. You know, Ryan, I don't know what kind of, I think he's using a harmonizer, but it sounds like 10 guitars playing in unison. It sounds great. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I love that piece. Tell us more about the album. Let's start with the name, Effervescent Travelers. And folks, you can see the cover right there on our player. How did the name come about, and what does it translate to for the band?
I think living, as I said, in Wales and certainly up the valleys, you kind of go on loads of adventures. So if you're going to get a gig kind of like in Aberfan, which just sounds like syllables. So what happens is you pile in the car, you got all the gear, and off we go. So a lot of exciting and certainly a lot of funny stories of like, we've been driving certainly with all the gear on top of the car through a lane, and there's like about 10 million sheep. And we're like, well, what happens now? And Ryan's like, well, we got to go this way. It's like, well, we can't. It's like, well, that's the end of the gig then. So we wrote a song that will kind of represent every kind of journey. So, for instance, there's a track name called Sur la Dordogne, which is basically down the Dordogne, which is a famous river in the south of France where we generally go every year just on holiday, and we go on canoes. And my brother kind of wrote, humming to himself on one of the canoes as we're going down this river, just this particular song. And then we're all in the canoes side by side going, oh, I quite like that. And Ryan will kind of bank. I'll forget about it an hour later, but Ryan will kind of have this idea and then go home and kind of write something that is within contrast to that. And there's another track called Mont Blanc when Ryan went and just walked up some random hill somewhere and then just wrote a song in his head. And that is a very Ed Johnson-y style kind of song. And certainly once the album's out, you'll listen to it. There's other songs called Almighty Faff. This one is my favourite.
Oh, really?
Almighty Faff, thinking about every time we try and leave the house, somebody's got a faff. Maybe me, which means I'm like, right, if we got everything, who's got this? And then we're like, I don't know. So we can never leave because we have to always go back. So it's always a mission to kind of get out of the house, get out of the rehearsal space. And one more just to kind of give you is an extreme push cycle race, which sounds crazy. This is the next single that's going to drop in July.
Oh, that's the new single that you're going to send?
Yeah. So we High Rise obviously is out, and now there'll be another drum playthrough vid that I'll hopefully send over if I get time. That'd be very kind if you could showcase that. But just names that have gone around experiences of what we've experienced as an instrumental band. Just such a love.
I love the theme. That is great. I'm going to play an excerpt from a Neil Peart inspired drum solo that you sent me, which, of course, what Neil was doing that you're emulating was inspired by Max Roach.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
trying.
Yeah, from the drum also waltzes. And then after we come back from that, I'd like to find out about more of your influences and the other guys as well. So here we go. Here's Jiffy with a solo. Dig it. Awesome. I just love that. Your kids always sound so good too. And I want to mention that Ryan is watching. He commented. Ryan's watching, and I think I saw Matthew as well watching, which is really cool. So what other influences do you have besides Neil Peart and me, of course?
It'd probably be like, I'm a massive Dave Matthews fan. Carter Buford, I think, and again, I apologize if I pronounced it.
Carter's amazing, yeah.
I love, absolutely love just the phrasing of how you can take something so melodic, and of course this has got singing and fundamentally a song, and his playing has been a massive, just a massive, for my playing, it's just really, a real joy to listen to, and certainly be able to kind of play some of his songs, which are a massive challenge. And when I watch him live, it just blows my socks off. Yeah. So definitely Dave Matthews Band. And of course you've got, oh my goodness. I like a lot of like basic stuff. So John Mayer is one of my favorite artists to listen to. And, he's got such amazing, complete groove drummers.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of, because everything I kind of play is all kind of in the prog world of what I kind of do, and it's like a lot of my session stuff. But I love just playing with, or listening to like Sterling when you listen to his playing on some of the albums of Mayer.
Yeah.
It's just pocket stuff, and obviously it's just completely gone from my brain. Is Wolf Peck, of course, but Nate Smith. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, Nate Smith. Yeah.
These gentlemen that are just on top of what they do, and they can do it all. So I love that kind of thing, and of course Rush. But yeah, I think Carter, mainly over the last couple of years, I've really started to kind of listen to what he's kind of got going on.
That's cool. And someone pointed out a drummer that you remind them of. Gareth Folis says he hears elements of John Heisman's Coliseum 2 in there as well. Which is interesting about that is that next, I forgot what day, it's on our schedule, but John's birthday is next like Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's interesting that Gareth pointed that out. Are you familiar with Coliseum 2?
I've done a little bit of homework. I'll have to do more homework.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, and I can hear that as well. That's great. Thanks for pointing that out, Gareth. John Kinsting, who's a Drum Talk TV contributor, couple different series that we have. John asks, where did it go? Oh, there it is. It says, Jiffy, your hands and arms are so loose and relaxed when you play. Did this come naturally, or did you have to work at it?
Oh my goodness. Certainly have to work, because my life as a drummer is basically, I'm exceptionally privileged to be part of, in terms of where I practice, like Drum Depot, which is a drum store, all drum store, nothing else but drums in Cardiff. And myself and Alan Lloyd are the teachers that we kind of there. And I think a lot of my practice is on an electronic kit where I run my lessons. So I don't really get the time to come up here. And this is too hard. I want to go electric, man. This is just too hard. So I think a lot of my, when I play in the shop and teach full time, when I come up and play something like this, I got to work so much harder. So yeah, I think it is. I do find it hard, but I just kind of lose myself. And what I'll do is I'll sit here and I'll play a Dave Matthews song and just kind of like just loosen up, that kind of thing. But to do that particular song, like High Rises, I've got 4 hours to basically shoot a video. So by the time I get in and I'm like, hey, yeah, thanks for having me. And, he's like, yeah, well, come on, studio closes at 6. So I got to set up all my gear with some help with some of my friends that come and help me, like Logan helped me do the last one. And it's like this, you'll see on my Instagram and stuff, just how long it takes to set the kit up. Yeah. And I end up getting the kit perfect, and then he's like, right, you've got 3 hours. I'm like, right, okay, well, I'm going to do three new songs. He's like, go. I'm like, okay. So it's completely raw. Nothing's rehearsed. I just don't get the time. I don't have a home studio yet where I can just warm up and get time. It's always a million miles an hour to kind of come up.
I'm like that too, but the difference is, I have the Drum Talk TV studio here at my home where I broadcast the vlogs from, and I have 2 drum sets set up. I've got my big blue progressive kit, and I've got a small, thanks, I have a small 4-piece jazz kit, and I don't spend a lot of, I don't spend any time working on my playing. Most of the time I play, I'd say 80% of my playing is when I'm playing on the show. 20% of the time it's at the end of the night. It's maybe 10 p.m. or midnight, and I'm like, I feel like playing, and I'll go playing, but I'm not working on stuff. I'm just playing to have fun. The difference is that you can't tell that I play in between, whereas I see, and as John's pointing out, your skills show from playing. Mine, I think I'm the same as I've been the last 15, 20 years or so. I don't know. It's embarrassing for me to say I've been playing 50 years because I should be a lot better. I mean, if you say you started playing 50 years ago, you should have something to show for it, and sometimes I'm not so sure. But I love playing. I don't take time to rehearse before I do one of my almost daily vlogs, is the name of the show. I will maybe do a quick sound check, but I don't practice or rehearse. I just I don't have time. I'm too busy running Drum Talk TV and my social media marketing business. So I get that. And the difference of going from the electronic kit to now playing the hardware, the organic, it is a whole different thing. I have a 5-piece Alesis mesh kit that I'm going to set up soon. We've lived here 3.5 years, and I haven't set it up since we moved from Las Vegas. So I'm eager because I love it.
Yeah, I think the beauty with being part of the depot, the drum depot crew, is the freedom I have. Even though I'm running my teaching and my lessons, but the boys, Brett and Mark, who own the business, I've always been invited. Come down. You got a show on Saturday, and I'm like, I got like a prog set. These are 26-minute songs. I got to learn stuff. Yeah. And they're like, just come in an hour early and just bash it out. And it's such a wicked vibe to be a part of, that it basically means that I do it all and make all my notes just before my lessons coming in. Because I don't get the option to come up, as you say, because things are, everything's digitally done, everything's online, rehearsals are harder. I just get sent all of the Dropbox kind of songs to learn.
Right.
Everybody's got businesses, everybody's got jobs, so we get together maybe 2 times just quickly before the show.
Oh, it's a whole different thing.
Man.
When the pandemic is over and all of that, are you guys gonna tour for the album at all? And if so, where geographically can people find you?
I think the minute that this crisis, of course, is maybe behind us, we, like every band, we want to get out. The album will be kind of out, and it's digitally on available, but we'll set up pre-orders and things like that, so people get in touch and be like, hey, I want a copy of the album because the artwork we just finished, it's amazing. We'll be releasing another copy of the artwork for the new single we released, which is extremely Push Cycle Wins. That's going to crack you up.
I can't wait.
I'll tell you, I'm going to get in trouble if I mention this, but we've actually now got a brass band playing with us. That's all I'm going to say, though.
Wow.
Yeah, on High Rise there wasn't. Now I'm going to get a big telling off for giving the game away, but we've got a brass band and we'll be releasing videos, obviously, in the studio, but just to give you a completely different feel.
I love that.
Yeah, but gigging wise, like any band, we'll try and get something local just to start off, maybe like an album release show, just to kind of see who's interested, and then just get the gear in the car and get back out, and maybe get into London or some bigger cities, and certainly into Europe once we can kind of, hopefully get on a support tour like we love as a band, the Aristocrats. Yeah. Now I know you had Marco on.
Yeah, Marco was just on. Yeah.
Now, Marco came into the clinic here in Drum Depot recently, so we had a nice little catch-up.
Good.
Pretty briefly, the gentleman was busy. But that would be the kind of thing we would need to do, because we're still quite young as a band, Kiny Wizzards. We haven't done much gigging, because obviously Ryan went and is now currently right now in Dubai teaching. So, but he's coming home this year, so he's home in 2 weeks.
Oh, good. Good.
So we're going to start coming up here weekly rehearsals and then just kind of try and book some shows. So looking forward to doing that.
I'll put my 2 cents in with Marco too. You'll get my endorsement for sure. That's awesome. Let's see who else is watching. We've got Mr. Chima from Nigeria, thanks for watching. Thank you so much. Thanks for the question, John. Ryan says, because I replied to him and said, dude, I love your work. And Ryan says, thank you, Dan. To answer your question about the guitar sound in High Rise, I used an electro-harmonics. That makes sense. An electro-harmonics POG, an octave pedal to get that real thick tone for the solo. That's awesome. I remember back in... Wait, I got to do this the right way. Hold on. Let me get my other glasses. Back in my day, our guitar player had a, let me think, it was an Eventide, and it had there was a wheel, and you'd put a hamster on the wheel that would turn it and generate electricity, and that was his harmonic device to harmonize the guitar. All right, so that was back in my day. We're talking 1978, 79, 80, 81. So that's cool. It sounds killer, Ryan. Thanks for filling us in on that. That's awesome. And Alan Davey is watching. Alan Davey has a son who's 17, who we have featured here on Drum Talk TV. He's 17. He's a multi-instrumentalist playing drums, bass.
I've seen that young lad. He's amazing.
Isn't he great? Alan, thanks for checking.
He did a Dream Theater cover, didn't he?
What's that? Sorry?
Did he do a Dream Theater cover?
Yeah.
The himself playing?
Yeah, a couple different Dream Theater covers. Yeah. Tell Matthew's going to give Matthew a run for his money.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, really good. Very cool. So I have for the last question, it's totally unrelated to music, Jiffy. My question, so this is the Jiffy Griffiths fun fact question. Da, da, da. When you're not playing drums, when you're not recording, when you're not rehearsing, when you're not writing, when you're not doing gigs, when you're not doing videos, when you're not teaching, when you're not doing anything having to do with music, help us get to know you. What do you like to do with your time when you're away from music?
Oh, wow. I love fishing. I know that sounds bizarre, and surfing. And I've always been kind of outdoors. I don't get the time to surf as much as I would like because of the music, but fishing just completely just relaxes me, and I love. I've always gone for years and years to quite a local lake that's in Wales, and just spend my time just relaxing doing that, but mainly on my bike and traveling with my partner, and just going on holiday and just relaxing and swimming. I love swimming grass.
You love what?
I love gardening.
Oh,
swimming.
Great. Yeah, me too. I love gardening. Keeps me off the news for sure. There's a place I go fishing about. You know, we live in the mountains, and there's a place at about 8,500 feet. I don't know what that is metric. 8,500 feet up in the mountains, and we see bald eagles catching fish and red-tailed hawks and things. And sometimes we don't catch anything, and I don't even care. I just love being out and off the grid for 14 hours, smelling the pines, and it's just beautiful up there. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. So I get that. That's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And folks, as Jiffy mentioned, he's going to get the next single out to us. And the album actually, the Kiny Wizzards, Effervescent Travelers, drops on, is it July 10th, you said?
July 10th is the next single.
The next single.
And the album will come out available online on the 14th of August.
Oh, okay, 14th of August. Well, that's cool because that gives us plenty of time to feature whatever videos you have coming and replay some of the other ones. So that's great. Be sure to get those to me. I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, awesome. Jiffy, thank you so much for your time. Hang on the line. And folks, thank you so much for joining Jiffy Griffiths from the Kiny Wizzards, all the way from Wales, and myself, Dan Shinder, here on Drum Talk TV in Globe, Arizona. And I appreciate you following what we do here on Drum Talk TV. Stay safe, stay sane, and be kind to each other and support each other. And we will see you all soon. Thank you so much, everybody. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.